did him through midfield.
Old Wakey has not though. Old Wakey is straight to the fence, and Stickers might take advantage here. There's damage on Old Wakey's car.
What is he doing? Oh boy! Oh, big crash, huge crash. Glasses into him. Glasses into him.
Less than a second away from the podium.
It's not over till it's over.
Get the drive. Who's it gonna be? Oh my god! He gets it. Does he get him? He goes into the lead. Oh my god! Oh, that is absolutely incredible. Oh boy!
Oh, he's in him. Oh, it's drama. Drama. Oh. He's gone for a move very opportunistic. Oh, that came out of nowhere from Morgan Davis.
The battle back for second is an absolute hot rocket. Oh, there's a big tap from Raceman. The Wakey Raceman to the wall. But he's recovered straight away. That bump was so lucky. We'll get a quick break.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Sector 1 for the first time in 2023. We return after the Christmas break, after the drivers have been honing their skills over the Christmas and New Year's break for about the last 2-3 weeks. So tonight we are here at Dragon Trail Gardens, the reverse circuit, for what's shaping up to be an absolutely magnificent spectacle on the Sector 1 calendar. All of these drivers are Division 1 and Division 3 drivers there, and they've been practicing, they've all got on the rhythm, and yeah, everyone is just going to have a great time today. There's 14 corners on this 4.35 kilometer circuit here in Croatia. Rain is possible on this track, so the tyres available to us today are the racing softs, the intermediates, and the wets. So my name is Lenocis, and joining me in the commentary box today, and your Division 3 race director is Cruzin. How are we doing tonight, Cruzin?
Excellent. I'm very well. Thank you.
Alright, and we're qualifying is just about to get underway, so we are going to head to track. We'll jump on board with Dadson now, who is the leader out here in this Division 3 qualifying. Oh, as we see, Carnage already, Carnage. Oh, who was that in the background? Oh, it's Grassy's is gone already. No, it's not Grassy's, it's the Stranger, the doghouse car of Stranger. So, not too sure what happened there, but
noticed we have a Viper sitting with a 3-second penalty already.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what happened there. I'll see if we can try and catch it on the Next Level Racing Action replay. But
a pit exit.
Yeah, it was like he sort of lost it. I don't know whether there was a bit of contact there, maybe, but yeah, not ideal. As they continue on, as they come through the hairpin of turn 10, Dadson leading everybody out. Behind him is Carbonboy, and Grassy's behind in third. Killer on the loose in fourth. Yeah, so it was Killer that picked up that 3-second penalty. Perhaps it was for contact. It may have been for contact. I know Stranger was around at that point in the pack, but would hate to think there was contact that early on in the qualifying. Oh, as Killer himself has lost it. Did he save? No, he hits the barrier. That is not ideal for Killer at all. We'll have a look on the Next Level Racing Action replay, see what happened there. As he's come through turn 12 and then into turn 13. It looks like he's just caught that curb, that inside curb, and it's just sent his car out of control a little bit. So Not great there. As we look up a little bit forwards now. Oh, Grassies and Daz are in the fence, the two Mercedes. Oh my, this is not going good at all. Grassies and Daz, they did a 360 each, and ooh, there must be something with that curb on the outside. It's just tripping up some of these drivers. As we see Dadson on his first flying lap of the evening. And it looks like, as the current championship leader, there's only 3 races remaining in the championship. Oh, as he cuts that corner, well, it's a bit of a nothing corner there, and he does pick up a penalty. So he won't be too happy with that, ending his first flying lap before it really got underway. On board with Carbonboy. He's just sitting in P2 in the running order. Second out of the pits as he comes into the heavy braking zone of turn 11, one of the major overtaking opportunities on this track tonight. Sweeps it through turns 12 and 13, I should say, as he comes into the sweeping right-hander of turn 14. Gets on the power early. You need to have a perfect line through that corner to try and maximize the exit onto the back straight as Dadson sets a 134 flat. Carbonboy with a 133.7 goes to provisional pole. Brewer will be the next across the line, and he goes 3/10 slower than Dadson. Stranger to the top of the pile, 33.4. Go with a 33.5, goes to second. Daz slower so far with his spin. Grassy's 48.9 also with a spin, and Killer next across the line. What's it going to be? 38 flat, and it will be Benia next. For sanctioned racing.
That's blistering pace from the Stranger.
Yeah, absolutely. Benia with a 35.7, and I believe a few more. No, that's everybody who's crossed the line now. As we see VF picking up a penalty. But yeah, as you said, absolutely blistering pace from Stranger and Gurr in their Doghouse and Dadson Astons, respectively. Only 700s split the brothers at the moment. But Carbonboy in P3 at the moment, sitting half a second off pole position. He'll be very happy with that lap time for his first flying lap. But I know Carbonboy will be thinking in his head, there's still a lot more qualifying to go. 10 minutes left in this qualifying, and he won't think that this is everything that all the other guys have. As he rounds the final corner now. Oh, very wide on that grass. Will have lost a little bit of time there as Dadson goes into P3. A 10th quicker than Dadson and 3/10 off the pole. And it will be Gurr. He picked up a penalty, but Stranger is going to be the next across the line. Goes slower. It'll be Daz next across the line. 34.3. Puts himself up into P5. Grassy's 34.6. Goes into 7th. So Prue's the first to make a pit stop out of everybody at the moment, coming in on lap 2. Lap 3, I should say. So has anybody really impressed you so far in this qualifying session, Cruzin? Any surprises?
Surprises, yeah. I'm looking at Dadson. I reckon we're going to see him maybe take a couple more positions. I reckon he's seeing. I know he can go quicker in that gold Aston.
Yeah, we've seen great form from Dadson in the last few races this season. Can he continue that form? That's a question that's left unanswered so far. P3 wouldn't be a bad starting position for him though.
A penalty.
Ooh. Not ideal.
Not ideal. Hasn't really set a benchmark time yet either.
Yeah, he's only managed to set a 34.6 at the moment. He's a lot quicker than that, as he showed in races such as Autopolis and somewhat at Bathurst. He was front row on the grid at Bathurst. Unfortunately unable to complete that race due to technical difficulties and series of unfortunate events that ended his race prematurely. As we see Gurr, Carbonboy and Grassy's all in the pits. Stranger starts his flying lap as wait, did Stranger pit last lap? It appears he did. I think he did pit. I can't quite tell. No, I don't think he has pit. He's just gone around again. Yeah.
I think the Vipers might be one to look out for in the race. They quite struggle with the 1 lap pace at this track, but overall they may be a bit more beneficial over race pace.
Yeah, I mean, Killer, he had a brilliant race out at Deep Forest last time out in 2022, getting that podium for Red Mist in his Viper, but Killer and VF. Oh, as you say that, absolute curse. VF has gone up into P3, so
Just
VF.
wanted to prove us wrong.
Yeah, he's. It's the good kind of commentator's curse,
Yes.
that is. It's the bad. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
where we say somebody's doing really well and they crash out. It's the. Oh! I thought he almost spun out then. That would have been. No, it's the kind where we say that somebody isn't going to do too well and they go out and prove us wrong. It's what we love to see, the underdog story. And VF,
It's
he's
not,
had a
it's
very.
not so much we're saying that they can't do well, it's sometimes the car's a bit difficult to,
Yeah,
to
exactly.
drive at certain tracks.
VF, he's had a bit of a slow season. It's not been one of his better ones. I think time for tuning and practice has been a bit of a struggle, but seems like the summer break has given him a bit of practice time, and he seems to have nailed his car for Dragon Trail Gardens. Currently sitting in P3 in qualifying, so good on VF getting up there. His mate in the other Viper, Killer on the Loose, or they're more like enemies if you think about it than mates, but sitting in P9, and as I was saying, Killer got the podium last time out at Deep Forest, so can he continue that good form into 2023, into the new year, and can he potentially find himself higher up on the grid? So Stranger just following behind Killer at the moment, still holds that pole position, provisional pole, followed behind by Gur in the Golden Datsun. And these two, it seems like it's... we've missed something else. Daz has put himself up into P4 on his 4th lap with a time of 1:33.8. So he'll be very happy with that. Daz seems to qualify very well, and then his race pace sometimes leaves a few questions unanswered, but he's all over the show through the exit of turn 13, comes into turn 14, maybe holding up Grassy's a little bit, but they hold on to it for now. Yeah, as he pulls across to let Grassy's through, and Grassy's up into P4, 1:33.7. Good stuff from Grassy's. He'll be happy with that qualifying. If it stands, 5 minutes remain, so we're only 2/3 through this 15-minute qualifying session for Division 3.
We've got Dev Session crew running line astern.
As Gur overtakes Stranger there through turn 9. Maybe Stranger just making a small mistake and just letting his brother past. Grassy's picks up a penalty, half a second penalty. So I'll just give a readout of the current order. So Stranger is on provisional pole. As Datsun goes up into P3 with a 1:33.6. So be happy with that. Goes 400ths quicker than VF. So as I was saying, it lines up like this at the moment. Stranger on provisional pole ahead of Gur, who leads his teammate and team owner in Datsun for Datsun Racing in P3. VF in P4. Prua It goes into P8, but it's Grassy's P5, Daz P6, as there might have been a bit of contact between Grassy's and Daz there. Oh, as we see Prua just going past Daz, so Daz very wide through turns 1 and 2. But Daz P6, Carbonboy P7, Prua P8, Killer P9, and Benia in P10 for Ascension Racing. Rounding out the grid. 3 minutes remaining in this qualifying session, so most drivers, everyone should get another 2 laps at the minimum. Oh no, I don't think anybody would get more than 2 laps, as we see VF just having a bit of a moment. Turn 13, between turns 13 and 14. Not too sure what happened there. Gets up and running again to start his 8th lap. As Dadson crosses the line, he goes to pole, a 33.4, great lap from Dadson, holds on to his, or claims his place at the top of the table, which he has done through the first few races this season. Oh, strangers into the wall! Oh, what's happened here? Oh no, that's massive. What happened? Hang on, let's just have a look on the Next Level Racing Action replay at that. As we switched across to a stranger, as he came across the line, it looks like he just... Oh, that's a very strange accident. Not too sure what happened there, but... Oh, as we see... Oh! Grassy's off in the background! Oh, wow! Massive crash. Oh my gosh, why is everybody spinning out today? Maybe if you... Oh, as we see, Killer with a lot of tyre smoke as well. Maybe these guys just a little bit out of practice to what they normally would. Maybe the Christmas break didn't do these guys any favours, but Dadson takes a provisional pole position with only 1 minute remaining in this race. So, I mean, in the qualifying session, I should say. As VF rounds turn 1 and 2 to start his 9th lap. This should be the final lap for VF. I don't think he'll get around again with the current time in the session.
But the top 3, I think, we're separated within 100 of a second.
Yeah, that's very tight at the top of the table at the moment. Dadson just 700ths to stranger behind, who is
Even
also
all the way
700ths. It's a
down
Gur
from
behind.
about 6, top 6. It's about the same.
Yeah, very, very tight stuff. The top 8. Oh, as Prua's gone on the straight. What's happened there? What? Oh, mistakes everywhere in this qualifying session. Ooh. As we see, Killer stopped at turn 13 as well. Spania sets a quicker lap time, but he doesn't go up the table. So that's everybody finished their qualifying. So the grid lines up like this. Pole position is the championship leader, the Div 2 prospect. So it is Dadson with a 33.4. Stranger behind him in 2nd, and Gur in P3. VF in 4th. Very good qualifying for him. 5th is Grassy, 6th is Daz, 7th Carbonboy, 8th Prua, 9th Killer, and 10th Benia as he rounds up the grid. So that was a very interesting qualifying session. Now we have another 50 minutes of racing action to look forward to. So looking forward to this one.
Drop the flag.
Yep, green flag racing whenever. It's up to you. Push the big red button. As we head to track, it is a rolling start today. And we are away. And it looks like Dadson gets off to a good start. Just holds off Stranger in second place. Do we see any moves down the inside? Or they all seem to hold themselves off for now. It looks like Prua's trying to get a move done on his teammate. There's a little bit of contact between the two Obsession boys, but they keep it together. And everybody seems to have got through the first complex turns cleanly. Dadson holds onto his lead. Starts to edge a bit of a gap. 7.5, 8 tenths, 9 tenths as they come through the quadruple apex. And it looks like the order has stayed the same through the first... Oh, Grassy's big moment! Big moment for Grassy's. He barely holds onto it there, but they continue on and he holds his position as we see Carbonboy right on the back of Daz now. We see a battle pack forming already between the two Obsession guys and Daz. Very, very close, bumper to bumper for these guys. As, oh, Carbonboy tries to send it down the inside. Can't quite get it done. But he continues on as, Killer, he's got down the inside of Prua, and that's a great move, great opportunistic move from Killer. Killer and Prua, they're mates in real life, and he's just stuck one to his mate here. That's a great move into the hairpin for Killer, as we see Dadson edging that gap out to 1.1 seconds now. Stranger behind, a 7/10 gap to go. And VF holding his position in fourth. On the opening lap. So the only change in position that we can see on this opening lap was Killer and Prua who switched positions there. And now Prua's under pressure from Benia. Benia could make a move down into the first complex corners, which he does, sends it down the inside. And can he get it pulled up in time? No, Prua uses the momentum of the outside line to just pull his car away through that second turn. As we look back up the front, and Stranger just holding out that gap to 1.1 seconds. Seems like Dadson, he's just so much more confident through the through this quadruple apex corner. Just gaining, he's gained 2 tenths each time they've come through that series of bends. But now Stranger is under pressure from his brother, the second Dadson car on track at the moment, which is Gur. Oh, as we see, Grassy's very late on the brakes, but pulls it up. As, there's Prua. He's lit up the wheels, lit up the rears there, and oof. Not the, I'm not too sure what happened for Prua there, but now he's under pressure from Benia. Benia is gonna try around the outside, but Prua covers it off well. He's nicknamed Wide Hips. That's what he's known for. Just he gives enough room, but just positions the car perfectly so that Benia is unable to make a move. As we look, yeah, Grassy's could go up into P4. He's going to try it around the outside here into turn 1, but it looks like VF has held it off well, covered it off. Grassy's, he's going to get another go into turn 4. Maybe. No, it didn't. It looks like Grassy's didn't get the best of exits. So it looks like VF is going to hold on to the position for now. So Dadson absolutely flying off the mark. 1.2 seconds, the gap between himself and Stranger. Stranger edges a similar gap back to Gur. So Stranger, he doesn't want to let go of this one too early, and he's going to continue to close down that gap onto Dadson, as we see Gur just gaining 2 or 3 tenths of that last section. So these top 3 starting to just have a little battle of their own, as Gur edges the gap out to VF behind to 1.6 seconds now. As we've lost somebody. Oh, we've lost Prua and Benia. They're just lagging off the back of the pack a little bit. Not too sure if there's a bit of contact maybe, but these guys getting themselves wrapped up in a bit of a fight over 9th position here. Looks like Prua has edged that gap out to about 7 tenths. He's looking safe from Benia for the time being. As we see VF, he looks like he's under pressure again from Grassi's maybe. Looks like Grassi's Mercedes just doesn't have it in a straight line. But when you look through the corners, Grassi's, he's just gaining so much time through the bends. Like that quadruple apex corner. Well, it's 4 corners, but it's sort of, you take it as 1. He's gained 2/10. But then he sort of lost it coming through turns 8 and 9, unfortunately. As we look up to Dadson and Stranger. Oh, Stranger just absolutely sending his Aston Martin over that curb. Big risk, and he takes it. As the gap, as we hear somebody, it's VF, massive moment for VF. I heard the tyre squeals, and then he concedes the position to Grassi's up into P4 now. VF very lucky to not lose it, as we see Daz, barely holds on to it as he goes wide at the final turn. But VF, I think it might have been that curb, that inside curb, and it's just tripped him up a little bit, and he falls back into the clutches of Grassi's, who overtakes, and Daz behind the 2 Mercedes guys. As you see, Benia gone. Benia's gone. So we saw Benia having a lot of difficulty in the qualifying as well. So just not enjoying that first sequence of corners, as he's currently 6 seconds off the back of Prua in P9. I don't think there was any contact there, but there might have been. Would hate to say there was, but everybody continues on.
This track as well is a very harsh track for curbs. Like, it's not a beginning.
Yeah, at the turns 11 and 12, you have the 2 curbs, which are famously known in Gran Turismo 7 as the death curbs. I think Dragon Trail here in Croatia is known for a lot of things death, including the death chicane and the death curbs. Sitting right next to the water here on the Croatian coastline.
Really nicely this time around there.
As Gur... okay. So Gur has set a personal quickest lap time on that last lap, but it doesn't technically count because it's the exact same lap as his last personal quickest. So he's set on lap 3 and lap 5 a 34.139. How's that for consistency?
But even if you look at his other laps, just have a look at his overall consistency.
Yeah, absolutely incredible from Gur. 34.1, 34.2 and a 34.1, and he's just set a purple sector there as well, so whew. As we see a bit of a battle pack forming between Grassi's, VF and Daz. Nothing major, but they're all within striking range of each other.
We have to look at this. The Stranger, I think, has very good straight line speed over Daz. I suppose it's straight.
Yeah, these 3, it's really closed up. Only 7/10 between them, as they're just absolutely murdering those curbs, taking the risk each and every lap. As you see Dadson taking a more conservative line compared to Stranger, just trying to get his car through without unsettling it too much. And you can see a little bit of pace difference as they come onto that final sweeper, as it settles down as they come onto the straight. But 3/10 between Gur and Stranger. Gur could think about a move down the inside here. Unable to. I'm sure these 3 will give us a good show like they always do. Always some good stuff between Dadson, Stranger and Gur. These guys put in the hard yakka during the week, And when it comes to the weekend, they're able to perform at this high level in the Division 3 category. So just enjoying themselves out front. Another man who might be enjoying himself tonight is Grassy, sitting in P4. A little bit opportunistic, making advantage, giving himself an advantage over VF's unfortunate mistake, but pushes on in P4. VF in P5. He's doing a good job as well, holding his own against these proven names in Sector 1 in the Division 3 category this season. So doing a good job for racing cars like Legends there. Daz for Deeds in P6. Same thing can be said for him. He's on a charge forwards, and he's just been closing up that gap to VF ever so slightly every lap. And then behind we have the first of the Obsession Motorsport runners in Carbonboy. In his Aston Martin.
Ever so slightly closer to Stranger.
Who's that, sorry? Gur.
Yeah, the Gur, yeah.
Yeah.
He just goes like every lap. I see, so excited.
Dadson's sort of like switched on for a second here as he's opened up that gap to over 8 tenths. But you see, as you said earlier, the straight line speed of Stranger's car seems to be where he's gaining most of the time compared to Dadson. As you see that the distance between them just rocket up as they get to that quadruple apex corner of turns 3 to 6. Go right on the back bumper of Stranger now. A little bit of mistake on the exit though, and it. As we see. Grassy's VF and Daz also closing it up. So VF has sort of turned on the afterburners as well and closed up to Grassy's a little bit. As Prui's closed up that gap to Killer by about 2 seconds now. So Prua doing. Trying to make the most of this situation, avoiding those curbs as much as he can, just clipping the curb on turn 12 just a little bit, which sends him up slightly and almost loses control of the car, but does a good job holding on to it. This battle up front though, the battle for the podium places, just 1 second between these guys, and it's still very early in this race, approaching the 15-minute mark in this 50-minute race. So I wouldn't expect these guys to be too push and shove at the moment. Another battle pack. It seems to be 2 battle packs on track at the moment. From 1st to 3rd and from 4th to 6th. The battle for 1st and the battle for 6th. Both of these battles within a second of 3 cars, and gonna have some good racing from the 2 packs tonight.
So I'll tell you this, the best person on fuel on track is a Dodge Viper of the RCLL BF.
That's very interesting, actually. What's the tyre fuel shaping up for everybody else on the grid?
We're looking at around half a tank of fuel. So some people are a little bit over that, some people a little bit under. We've about 3/4 of the front tyres gone.
Okay, 3/4.
Of like
Ooh.
10%. Like
Oh, okay. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, like some people have a fair bit of chunk coming off
Yeah.
the fronts now.
So Stranger closing up to the back of Dadson now. 5 tenths separates these 3 cars. Bumper to bumper, great racing to keep it clean from these guys. It's interesting to just see all the different lines that they take through that corner, that quadruple corner as they come into turn 8 and now through into 9. And it looks like Dadson taking a very wide line. Stranger on the back of him. 1.5 tenths separates these guys. Could he go for a move? 1 tenth. He's pushing him down the straight. He's going to dive to the outside. Maybe think about the inside. No, he holds off for now. Stranger just sitting behind Dadson. This is what he wants. He wants to be able to push Dadson. As we look behind as well, as we see Grassy's VF and Daz also in a very tight battle of their own. Only 8 tenths between these guys as well. Lots of great racing at the pointy end of Division 3. As we see Gur going for, thinks about a move on Stranger, but doesn't get it done. And we look behind, no moves in the battle behind either. VF sort of thought about a opportunistic move. As we see Daz going wide, has to lift off to not run into the grass and barrier.
Thought we might have seen somebody try to stop. Maybe he's trying. Maybe jumping was the best move. Then back out.
So something's happened to Gur. He's just dropped back, maybe a second or so, behind Dadson and Stranger. Not too sure what's happened here, but maybe just a small mistake through the slow section of 1 and 2. A little bit late on the brakes, but right under the rear wing, Stranger on Dadson. Practically pushing him through the corner. 1.5 tenths, he's going to go for it again.
Up 3 wide, 5, 6, 7.
Oh wow, it's all shaping up. The battle's everywhere.
We were 3 wide, we had Grasses on the outside.
Yeah, and Daz, so Grassy's has lost 2 moves. VF back up into 4th, and Daz moves himself up into 5th. As Stranger's also made a bit of a mistake, dropping himself into the grasp of Gur, who
I think they might be feeling a bit of tyre wear at the moment.
Yeah, so Daz, eyes forward, straight onto the back of VF. Can he dive down the inside into turn 1? No, he holds off for now. As it looks like Pruer has overtaken Killer and moves himself up into P8. So it looks like Killer on lap 10 has made some sort of error and has lost 3 or 4 seconds to Pruer, and sits currently in P9. Looking back up front now, the championship leaders fighting it hammer and tongs here, as they always do, keeping it clean. I don't think we've had any major incident between these 3 all season long, which is just absolutely incredible that they're able to have a championship fight like this in such a clean and friendly manner. Of course, these 3, they are all mates in real life, outside of sim racing, so you would expect it to get a little bit more rough and tussle between these guys, but for the most part, it's been very good racing so far this season. I can't place a fault anywhere on these guys. Just currently...
If VF can hold time here, do something.
Yeah, oh, big moment from VF, and it looks like Daz is going to take that position down into turn 3. And he does get it done. He's a whole car length in front as they hit turn 3. And rounding turns 4 and 5 now. VF back down into 5th. So, oh, another big moment for VF. Oh, I thought he was gone that time. Car control from VF. Absolutely. So we'll have a look on the Next Level Racing action replay and see what happened as VF came through the first 2 turns. It looks like he just got all stuck up on that inside curve of turn 2, and it's just caused his car to become unsettled and spin out in a way that has allowed Daz to take that move, take that position from VF. So 20 minutes into this race, we're approaching the halfway mark now. All these guys are going to be thinking about pit stops anytime soon. On the next few laps, the next 2 or 3 laps, I reckon between the next 2 to 5 laps is the pit window. So between lap 15 and lap 18 should be when these guys start peeling into the pits and looking at a new pair of tyres and bit of petrol squirted into the car. So we'll just ride on board with Stranger for for a little bit and just see how this battle up front is shaping up for Stranger. So we see him right on the back of Dadson, and you can see in his revision mirror Gurr behind. Very tight battle between these guys. He could be thinking about a move very close into the hairpin. Oh my gosh, just giving Dadson a little bit of a love tap into the hairpin. He's sitting 2.5 tenths behind. It doesn't look like he's going to be close enough on this occasion to make a move into turn 11. But he holds off behind now. Lap 14 currently. Stranger's going to get another go into the complex of turns 1 and 2, and it looks like he's got a good exit out of the final sweeper of the final sweeping right-hander. 1.5 tenths the gap. Can he chuck it down the inside? No, he's not interested in that. He's just going to sit behind for now. Dadson taking a couple of takes onto the brakes. Stranger able to keep out of the back of Dadson. So they head down once again into turn 3. The quadruple apex, the landmark of this circuit. Just slows the cars down, and you need great consistency each and every lap to be able to predict the car's grip through there. Takes a lot of effort, especially in these later stages of the stint where the car's a bit heavier and the tyre grip isn't quite there. It seems like Stranger really struggling with that part of the track as he loses about 5 tenths to Dadson through turns 7, 8 and 9. Looking down to the battle for P4, it seems to have petered out for now, as Daz 2 seconds ahead of VF, who is also 2.5 seconds ahead of Grassi. So Grassi's falling back into the clutches of Carbonboy now, giving Carbonboy a bit of a sniff for P6. 1 second between these guys as Gurr takes the gamble, first one into the pits. Bang on 26 minutes to go. 15% fuel in the car. Grassi also makes the same strategy call, coming in on lap 15. As we see through lots of tyre smoke there, drifting it through the final corner. It looks like there's no rain on the radar at all tonight either. So we'll have to see how the undercut treats Gurr and Grassis, as it looks like Grassis has really closed up to Gurr. He's only 3 tenths behind. Is he maybe under-fueled, or is there just that big of a save of fuel? As Gurr under a lot of pressure from Grassi, It seems like Gracis has been able to just warm up those tyres a little bit quicker than Gur, and
So Gracis hasn't filled up,
oh, he hasn't fueled.
and Grill has.
Oh, so what's he sitting on? Like 20%?
Three quarters.
Oh, 3/4. Oh, I thought you meant like he didn't put anything in.
So he's
Oh.
put fuel in, but he didn't fill the tank. Where Grill
Yeah.
filled the tank.
Whereas Gur did fill the tank.
That hasn't pitted yet. Grill hasn't pitted yet.
Yeah, so everyone's in apart from VF. VF goes around again. And you said earlier that VF was the best on fuel, the best man on track with the best car. Is the story more or less the same?
Yeah, so he's still got a fair bit of fuel left, but I don't think the tyres could take too much longer, much more, but
Yeah. I would imagine he would pit this lap or the next, so I don't see him
yeah,
going too
he
much
would
longer.
need to.
As we see
But if he
Dadson.
could hold his 20-second lead, he might come out. and,
Oh,
be
somebody, who was that? It was Dadson. Lots of tyre smoke. A rare mistake from the championship leader. So this is a little bit interesting. Look at this. So Dadson retains his provisional pole position here. Daz up into well, what is on the road P2. Stranger P3, Gur P4, and Grassi's P5, and they're all right next to each other as Stranger sends it down the inside of Daz. Easy as you like. He says, Daz presented the gap, and Stranger goes, yes, please, I'll take that, and puts his car up into P2. Oh my gosh.
In the pits. Where's he going to come out?
This is a massive battle pack forming. 4 cars, and it could be a 5th car. Let's see where VF comes out. Sorry, it's 5 cars, and it could be a 6th. Is he going to come out in the heat of this? No, it looks like he's going to be a little bit behind. Oh, he comes out maybe 2.5 down the road, so 3.5 seconds, and he's got a 3-second penalty for cutting pit lines as well. So into the clutches of Carbonboy. So this race has gone from good to bad for VF, unfortunately. Going to drop himself down to P7 once he sorts out this penalty. But the story of today, this battle pack for P1, the top 5 guys are all battling it out. Dadson has basically took off now. He's 3 seconds down the road, but Stranger has to chase that down with Gur beaming down behind him. Daz and Grassi's sitting just behind, waiting in the wings if anything goes wrong. Is the real threat of a podium for these guys tonight, Daz and Grassi's. Seems like Dadson has put his foot to the floor and has extended a bit of a gap now. As VF rounds the final corner, and he's going to be serving his penalty this time round. As Carbonboy gets promoted up into P6. If Carbonboy gets a wriggle on, he could even potentially be looking at the battle pack up ahead of Daz and Grassi's. Only 3 seconds the gap. I could see Carbonboy really pushing himself and getting up there, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. He might not have the car to do it.
Carbonboy and Grassi's have the lightest car on the track.
Okay, so I don't think Carbonboy will be able to push too much in that case if he doesn't have too much fuel on board.
Not more than grass.
So a little bit of a quiet race for these guys. It's Prua, Killer, and Benia, 8th, 9th, and 10th respectively. But they've just been in no man's land for the most part, just continuing on and enjoying the driving. As we see no real close battles on track at the moment, things have sort of started to spread out. The closest battle is between Daz and Grassis, which is sitting at about half a second at the moment. We see Gur on the back of Stranger. I think Gur is just going to be wanting to sit behind Stranger and wait until a small mistake like that, and oh, it looked like Gur was going to take the position there. Stranger manages to get on the power and he's going to dive down the inside and he's going to get this move done. Well and truly, 7/10. Oh, what's happened there for Stranger? Is he lifted off? Has he let Gur have a go at trying to chase down Dadson? I think that's what's happening here. I think Stranger has let Gur past, and he's going to want to work with Gur to try and close down that gap to Dadson, which currently sits at 3.5 seconds. As that gap to Stranger was already down to up to a second, I should say, but a small mistake from Gur coming to the first and second turns, and it's just left him falling back into Stranger and falling away from Dadson. Daz under a lot of pressure from Grassis at the moment. Grassis really putting on the pressure. He wants this position from Daz. So Grassis' best position of this series so far is a P3, and that came at a wet Autopolis. He was dominating the qualifying. I believe he started in P2 and dominated the race from get-go until the rain came. And he stayed out one lap too long. Yeah, it did at Autopolis for these Division 3 guys. By the time they got from the pit lane to the end of the main straight, it was already dry. It went from dry to completely wet, and it just caught a lot of these drivers out, Grassis included, whereas we saw Gur and Stranger who pit straight away, and they ended up being the top two.
A lot of the talk after that race from the drivers saying they've never seen it rain so fast, so quick.
Precisely. And with the threat of rain today, which at the moment it doesn't look like there's a lot of lingering clouds, seems to be sunny and pleasant for the most part. But the weather could change at any second. 15 minutes to go in this race. I think it may be a little bit late for the wet weather to come into play, but
it's never too late.
Yeah, never too late.
Never too late. Could rain the last lap.
As Grassis and Daz head up the hill into turn 7. Yeah, so Gurry's really closing up the gap to Dadson. 2 seconds between himself and Stranger, and the big man up front, Dadson, the prospector. Could Gurr spoil the party of his team owner and potentially take the win? As it stands, it's a Dadson 1-2. Team orders could also potentially come into play. So we see Daz really closing up to... Grass is closing up to Daz. That gap to Stranger down to just 2.6 seconds as well. So Stranger could be losing his pace maybe.
Bro's just taken the fastest lap with a 1:33.662.
Yeah, so that's 400ths quicker than the previous fastest lap, which was a 1:33.7 set by Dadson on lap 3, I believe. But so far, these guys currently sitting about 3/10 off their qualifying times, so not blistering quick, but great race pace certainly. On an absolute charge, this man, Gurr, chasing down his team owner. He could take the win. He's already got one this season. Gurr won at Autopolis in the wet Autopolis, which we were talking about earlier. Could he potentially take another win here at Dragon Trail? It probably won't rain here today, but just the fact that at the wet tracks, Gurr seems to excel. It might be a little something to say that even though technically it's not raining, maybe it's just the possibility that there could be rain. Gurr drives just a little bit quicker. As he sets a 1:34.4. 1/10 quicker than Dadson on that last lap. As Stranger actually was the quickest man on track that last lap. Oh no, sorry, it was Daz was quickest on that last lap with a 33.9. So Stranger, he's closing things up to Gurr, but he's also got to be cautious of Daz behind. Sitting in no man's land at the moment, about 2 seconds off anybody else. We're right on board with Gurr as he chases down Dadson. So 1.6 seconds the gap as they come into the braking zone of turn 11, using all of that sausage curb just to take the quickest line through the corner. Getting on the power early, using everything that second gear gives him. Sliding it through smoothly into the sweeper of turn 14. That gap just stagnating at around 1.6 seconds. Down onto the second straight, 1.6 seconds still. Stranger also closing up to Gurr. So maybe Gurr has gone out too hard and fast and has used up his pace on these tyres. We'll have to see what happens in the coming laps. Seems to have nailed that sequence of corners through the quadruple apex. 1.2 seconds now to Dadson. Dadson really struggling. 1.1. It's down to a second now. Into the hairpin. Very late under brakes for Gurr. Gets it turned in on the power. 1 second the gap. Gets a little bit stuck up on the curb. Not ideal for Gurr. Two tenths off his quickest lap. This is the part of the lap where Dadson usually peels a bit of time away from Gurr. but that technical section is really not Dadson's strong suit. 1 second, under 1 second the gap. Gura continues to press on. And he's within slipstream range, almost 7.5 tenths, 8 tenths the gap now. This is going to be the part of the track where Dadson loses the most time. And Gura is just capitalizing on that. Oh, goes a little bit wide, pulls it back in, but now he's well and truly within slipstream range. 5 tenths the gap. He's purple by a tenth. Gura is on an absolute charge. Could he take the win today? 10 minutes remaining. Right up under the rear bumper of Dadson. As he sends it down the inside, he goes for it. Can he get it done? Yes, he does. It looks like Dadson's trying to get the switch back on him, but he just has to settle behind. Gets alongside again. Dadson seems to have just pulls alongside. This battle is still going between the two golden Dadsons, as Dadson takes the lead of the race once again. Gura isn't going to let that one go that easy. He's going to have another go into the first turn. He's going to have to slipstream all the way down the back straight, and then from turn 2 into turn 4.
It's a good sight when you see two team cars that close together.
Yeah, and especially at the pointy end, this is some good stuff for the Dadson Racing Garage. As a little bit of a tap from Gura, maybe giving Dadson the hurry on. And once again, coming up to the part of the track where Dadson really struggles. Gura has his line nailed with the current car, and he's able to just press on, keeping up that pressure on Dadson. 3 tenths the gap at the moment as they come down through turn 9. And it looks like Gura isn't going to be close enough on this occasion, but he's going to try and maximize his exit very wide using all of that curb, and he's going to have the run down the big straight. Stranger is getting dragged into this as well. Only 1.2 seconds behind. So we'll have a look on the Next Level Racing action replay at that move, and we just see Gura sending it down the inside on his team owner Dadson there on lap 25 there. Brilliant stuff from the two Bacchus cars. Gura going to get another opportunity at the race lead. Does he slide across? He thinks about it, but just holds off for now. Maximizing the exit, 3 tenths the gap, and now Stranger is involved in it too. Half a second to Stranger. This is just like the opening laps. These three closer than ever. 5 tenths but separates these guys. Oh, Stranger's gone! What's happened to Stranger? Oh, very wide. It looked like he just went straight off track, but he holds on to it. And now it's just 1.2 seconds to Daz behind. Oh. As we see Gura still pressuring Dadson. 2 tenths. Can he chuck it down the inside? He thinks about it. He goes for it, but not close enough. Tries to go into the power early, but just spins up the tyres. Loses out on the advantage down the main straight, down the back straight. So he's going to have to settle for P2. Now that gap, 7.5 tenths. Terrible exit for Gura coming out of that hairpin. Stranger under threat from Daz now. Daz could be going for his first podium of the season. The problem is that Stranger needs these championship points if he wants to get close to Dadson in the final 2 races. As we see just 3/10 separating the 2 Bacchus cars, the golden Bacchus cars. Also 4/10 separating Stranger from Daz. It looks like Grassis has had an issue as well. 7/10 separates Grassis and Carbonboy. So not too sure what's happened to Grassis. Maybe an incident or just going off track somewhere, but finds himself... Oh! As Gur's in the lead of the race. He's chucked it down the inside up on the hairpin. As the 43 and 44 cars, as Dadson, he's going to try and take the move back around the outside. No, can't quite get close enough. But Gur has taken the lead of the race. Sits himself into P1 with just 4 minutes remaining. Could Gur snatch the candy out of Dadson's hands right on the death of this race? We're 45 minutes in and Gur takes the lead. Dadson is going to have to fight to get this P1 back. As we see Gur under a lot, Stranger under a lot of pressure from Daz as Carbonboy overtakes Grassis now. So it's all kicking off up and down the grid. Gur could even have a shout. Stranger could even have a shout on Dadson too. 1.3 seconds that gap. He needs to have his eyes forward because he has Daz in the revision mirror constantly. Uh-oh. And it looks like the cockpit view has broken in typical GT7 style. So we will not be using the cockpit views anymore, unfortunately. But Gur stretching his legs immediately, 1.3 seconds between himself and Dadson, and down to a second between Stranger and Dadson. Could Stranger get the move done on Dadson eventually in the final 2 minutes of this race? It's all going downhill for Dadson at the moment. What's the fuel situation looking for these guys? As Daz goes down the inside of Stranger. Daz goes for the move. Oh, he can't quite get it done. Oh, he goes for the switchback, maybe. Oh, he can't. Not quite. He's going to have to think about it next time. Sorry, Cruzin. I interrupted you there.
So they're all pretty low. The top 3 are all pretty low, being pretty similar, with a slightly less. And then we've got... Oh, we actually have Carbonboy on the light.
Ooh, there's only 1:30 remaining. It's just one more lap in this race.
VF could go another 10 laps. And Killer in the other Viper is on the light.
Ooh.
We've got one Viper who's sipping and one Viper who's gulping.
Yeah. So that gap between Gur and Dadson up to 2 seconds, but Stranger is that gap sitting at 9/10. He's still under pressure from Daz. Can these two push on and potentially get a P2?
Who's just gone the light?
Yeah, 1 lap remaining for these guys.
Those are Stranger.
This is going to be a very fiery final lap.
That's
Grassis
Grassis
has made a mistake. Grassis, BF goes back up to P6.
They're all on the light, so they all can't do too much longer.
As it's going to be the final lap now, lap 32. as the cloud coverage comes in as well. The cloud starts to roll in on the final lap.
But they're all on the line except for VF.
So, Stranger, looks like he's going to be too far away from Dadson to take this one. But he's still under pressure from Daz. As we look up to Gurr. And that gap just 2.2 seconds between himself and Dadson as Stranger has all sorts of troubles with Daz behind. Daz is going to send it into the hairpin. No, not quite. He's going to have one more go. He gets him on the switchback. He's going to have the slipstream all the way down. Oh no, he hasn't got the exit he needed. 7/10 the gap. It's going to be all over for Daz as Brewer crosses the line. So does Killer and Benny are P8, 9 and 10. As it's going to be Gurr who rounds the final sequence of corners now. Just one more corner to go. And it looks like Stranger's going to hold off from Daz. As we see Gurr rounding the final corner, but a very commanding drive from Gurr. He takes this one for Dadson Racing. Very great stuff from Gurr. His first drive race win of the season. Dadson in second, 1-2 for Bacchus, the Dadson Bacchus Golden Cars. Stranger completes the podium in P3, Daz P4, Carbonboy P5, VF P6, and Grasses rounds out the grid in P7. So absolutely magnificent stuff to watch.
Grasses absolutely nailed that field. He crossed the line with 0.
Oh my, that was an incredible race. Love to see it. Wow. So, who's your driver of the day, Cruzin?
Oh, I was trying to think about that. But still, I'm gonna have to give it. I'm gonna have to give it to Guru, our winner. I know we don't normally give it to the winner, but I think the way he just come through the pack and just managed the car, did it cleanly. It was just a faultless drive.
Yeah, I mean it was a great drive from Gurr, and I'm tossing up between Gurr and Daz because Daz's drive to have his highest position of the season, his highest result, best result of the season, just so ever so slightly missing out on the podium. It was a great drive from
maybe we
Daz.
put it to a vote in the chat between Daz and Guru.
Yeah, so add your driver of the day votes to the chat, or add it to the poll that I'm just about to put up. Oh, it doesn't let me. All right, well, add your driver of the days to the chat, and we'll see how it shapes up. So Bumcrack gives Gurr driver of the day. So if nobody else makes a vote, I think I think Bumcrack's going to be the deciding vote.
I pretty reckon it's been a while since I've logged in.
Yeah.
I'll put it in. Where is it?
As we see a few
screenshot first.
As we see a few new faces in the chat, we see one new face. That is. I mean, I see a few returning faces like TJ and Shicer, always hanging around.
Did I just? Oh, I think I missed it.
As there's another vote we didn't consider. Womble for driver of the day.
How did we miss that?
Yeah, Womble's given driver of the day to Womble.
No, but didn't Womble win?
Yeah. Stickers gives driver of the day to Gurr. As we have the Starman in a very good P5 joining the commentary box, Carbonboy, who will be your race director for the Division 1 race. How are we doing, Carbonboy, after that hour and 5 minutes of Sector 1 action?
Starman, I believe you're mistaking me for Gurr.
You had a good race. I mean, you finished 5th. It's always good to be at the pointy end.
It was a bit of a lonely race for the most part. There was quite a few seconds gap between myself and drivers in front and behind me, so I just kept chugging along, doing laps, trying not to go off with that big sector of left-handers at turn 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah. I mean, it was a bit of a quiet race. You found yourself in no man's land for the most part, but pinched a few positions from VF and Gracis in that second stint. VF with the penalty and Gracis with
I was
error.
so shattered VF had that penalty because I saw him coming out of the pits and I'm like, yes, I'm right behind him, and he's got a 3-second penalty.
Yeah, you guys were running similar pace the entire second stint too, so it would have been a great battle to watch, but not to be on this occasion.
Unfortunately.
So
Sorry, I'm just trying to get the lobby opened at the moment, and my brain does not want to brain.
Yeah, it looks like my Gran Turismo has chucked a tantrum and frozen black screen. So I'll just restart my game real quick, and we'll be with you with the Sector 1 action very shortly. So we'll just head for a 5-minute intermission while we get everything up and sorted, and then we can head into the Division 1 qualifying and race. So don't go anywhere, guys, as straight after this we have the Division 1, the top flight of Sector 1, who will be the second part of our Group A week here at Dragon Trail. So see you all in a couple of minutes. All right, we are back for the Division 1 race here today. And qualifying is about to get underway. Carbonboy has given the warning to all the drivers, and it looks like we're going to be ready to get underway with another hour and 5 minutes of Sector 1 racing action coming from a 15-minute qualifying and a 50-minute race. So we're just waiting on one driver to click the check button to verify their entry into the race. Anytime now, Captain Muffin. Fan favourite. Captain Muffin. I think Shizer is Captain Muffin's biggest fan. But he's not hurrying along this process. There we go.
Rightio. Let's get this show on the road.
Sector 1 Division 1 action returns in 2023. After 4 seconds. All right. And qualifying is a go. It looks like Morgan Davey is going to be the first one out of blocks.
Karen Unleashed,
yes.
That is.
Followed by Ricky Bobby and Jeesh. Captain Muffin in... no, Distinct Andrew overtakes Captain Muffin. Same as Atom. So, Captain Muffin's 6th. Haven't seen Captain Muffin in a while. His livery almost alien to me at this point. Can't even remember if it's the same livery or not. I'm going to assume it's the same livery. As we see Kiwi Raikkonen, another Datsun driver driving the Corvette. He's been having a bit of difficulty in the last few races, but he keeps... hopefully he can change his luck this time out at not Deep Forest. What's this track?
Dragon
Trail. Yes,
Gardens.
that one too.
It's also good to see FSR Corky back in the fold after a bit of an absence.
Motorsport. Yeah. And Hellraiser, he came 4th in his last time out at Deep Forest, so he'll be looking to make an impact once again. Hopefully getting another good finish under his belt. He's been building up his confidence over the course of this season, and the first outstanding performance from him came from Switzerland at Deep Forest.
I think I've cottoned on to Captain Muffin's strategy here in qualifying. He's sitting right underneath the rear wing of Atom, who is right behind his teammate Distinct Andrew. So I think Captain Muffin might just be thinking, if I can sit in the slipstream
Oh,
of these
Kiwi
boys,
Raikkonen! Oh, he's gone! Massive troubles! Oh, no!
that's not gone well.
He's just
Oh,
got
Muffin!
it all...
Oh, very sideways into that series of left-handers.
So we'll have a look at the Next Level Racing action replay, and we'll see just exactly what happened to Kiwi Raikkonen. And, oops, I am having a little bit of difficulty with my... Oh.
Is it not doing the thing?
No, I'm being a total noob with the controls and don't know how to work my replay. So it looks like he's just got all stuck up on the curb there on the exit of turn 2, up on the grass, and it's just... Yeah, he's just lost control of that, and unfortunately it's landed him into the wall. So these guys start their first flying laps. Ricky Bobby leads the pack as he rounds the final corner of turn 14.
Oh, Captain Muffin will be swearing a lot right now. He's picked up a half-second penalty at that final chicane for getting a little bit cute with the curb. And decides now's a good time to come into the pits and grab a fresh set of tyres.
as we see, Distinct Andrew on provisional pole position with that first lap with a 31.3. That's 2 seconds clear of the Division 3 folks.
Okay, I was in a chat with the Div 3 guys and I was just joking around that, you know, qualifying will be around the 32s and, you know, Andrew will come out and do a 31.8. Well, he's just given me the finger by doing a 31.3. And I have a feeling, in a low fuel situation with fresh tyres later on in this session, he might be getting dangerously close to a 30.
Yeah, just quietly, Ascension Racing 1-2-3. We saw it in qualifying and in the race last time out at Deep Forest, and we see it again. These guys, they are on an absolute charge to take Division 1 of Sector 1 by storm. The 3 Ascension guys, once again.
Andrew's picked up a half-second penalty on this lap, so that one's cooked for him.
Yeah.
But I have been watching the Vipers down the straight, and I'm curious to see how they're going to go for fuel, because both of them are absolutely banging off the limiter for a large amount of that main straight.
Ricky Bobby, he's best of the rest at the moment. Oh. Okay. Corgi is best of the rest at the moment with a 132.8. As Kiwi Raikkonen goes into P2, spoils the Ascension Racing party. Absolutely brilliant stuff from Kiwi Raikkonen. That's a bit better than his last lap, that's for sure.
I've just been watching the times popping up on the left of the screen there. For the purpose of the commentary of this race, I'm not going to refer to him as FSR Corgi. I'm going to refer to him as Fluffy.
Fluffy. Yeah.
So Fluffy currently in P5.
Yeah. Well, what do we call Kiwi Raikkonen, the other FSR? Not
Spiky?
so fluffy. Spiky. Alright, there it is. You heard it here first, folks. Kiwi Raikkonen, known as Spiky.
Hey, this could work. FSR. Fluffy and Spiky Racing.
Yep, here we go. We're rolling with it. Fluffy for Corgi and Spiky for Kiwi Raikkonen. But it's good to see Kiwi Raikkonen back at the pointy end after a few unfortunate races, which saw him towards the back of the pack for those. Oh, that
Geesh comes over the line with a 31.6, putting himself into P2.
Geesh takes back that P2 off Kiwi Raikkonen. And to think we had this guy racing in Div 2.
Are you still bitter about that?
No, I'm just merely pointing out a fact, okay?
Oh, just making an observation.
As Captain Muffin goes up into... Oh, he remains in P10, I should say. So, to show you the sheer difference between the Division 1 and Division 3 guys, Captain Muffin's, he's sitting in 10th position, the last on the grid at the moment, and his lap is 2/10 quicker than the pole position lap for Division 3. Just shows you the level that these Division 1 guys are racing at. It's new heights, new extremes. As Geesh picks up a half penalty.
There goes that lap for him.
Yeah, the way he's taking these apexes...
he might take this opportunity to just dart into the pits, grab some new tyres, go again.
Yeah, I believe he hasn't stopped yet, so I'd imagine he would stop this lap regardless of that penalty. It just seems like your shout was correct. And next up is Fluffy, peels into the pits as well. And Morgan Davey picking up a half-second penalty, burns it. So this lap is going to be written off for Morgan Davey as well. We've seen it time and time again. Morgan Davey, he's not the quickest in qualifyings, but his race pace, very aggressive driver, pushes his way through the pack like parting the sea. That being said, though, he does have a one front row start this season, which came as courtesy of the retro round at Bathurst in round 4, where he put himself alongside Distinct Andrew on the grid. As we see, looking up and down the grid, most people are just on their laps at the moment. Haven't seen any improvements up or down. In the
I'm
last
just
minute
riding
or so.
on board Spiky at the moment. He's just gone through the first sector. He's about 100th up on his best time. Looks to be pretty comfortable on the new tyres as Fluffy gives him plenty of space at the hairpin.
They're both driving the Corvette, the FSR guys. Very thirsty, so we actually have 4 Corvettes on the grid tonight. We have Spiky, Fluffy, Morgan Davey, and Karen Unleashed.
Oh, did he get a bit cute with that curb? Oh, he's gotten away with it. He was 3/10 up on his best time going through that that last sector.
As Distinct Andrews into the 30s. Alright.
Kiwi Raikkonen. No, he had a bit of a horror final turn there. Lost half a second.
Yeah, just got stuck up on the curb. Oh my gosh, that car is so unstable.
Nearly had a repeat of the second lap.
Yeah, it's not treating him very wisely, but if there's anyone that can drive an aggressive car, it's this man, Kiwi Raikkonen. As Corgi is up on his personal quickest lap time. So it looks like who's leading that? Who's in front of Distinct Andrew? Ah, it's Morgan Davey. Oh, Morgan Davey! Uh-oh. That is not good for Morgan Davey.
Oh, Ricky Bobby. Hold it, son. Whoops, someone's putting on a real smoke show at the front.
Yeah, that was Morgan Davey as we're just looking back on the Next Level Racing action replay.
Oh, and he's lost it at pit entry.
Oh.
Can Ricky Bobby improve as he comes across the line? He does. Remains in P5, but does improve by a 10.5.
As Kiwi Raikkonen improves, just 4/10 behind Distinct Andrew now. So Spiky and Fluffy have both improved their lap times. Yeah, so Kiwi Raikkonen puts himself back up into P2 ahead of Jeesh. As Atom improves as well with a 32-1.
Morgan Davey putting around with a 3-second penalty hanging over his head for his little indiscretion with the pit lane entry.
Yeah, that's not going to be too friendly to his lap times. 2 minutes remaining in this qualifying session. Oh, what happened? Ooh. Uh-oh.
I'm hearing Stewart's pens going click click.
Morgan
Okay, moving
Davey,
on.
Let's just assume that it was a glitch which automatically teleported him to the pit lane momentarily.
Speaking of penalties, Captain Muffin currently hanging and having a half-second penalty hanging over his head.
Yeah, he's put himself up into P7 with his lap time of 32.6, so better than the 10th position he was sitting in earlier as Ricky Bobby, 32.3.
Spiky comes into the pits again.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to get around.
Interesting strategy.
I don't think he's going to get around again.
I don't think he will either.
He's going to be cutting it close, actually. A minute,
he
40.
might scrape in there with about 3 seconds to hit the line.
This is screaming. Practice. He's practiced his qualifying strategy.
A desperate last-second effort to. Well, he's got 4.5 tenths, or 4.7, or 0.47, sorry, between him and Distinct Andrew. He's got half a tank of fuel on board.
Could be the
Fresh
code.
set of rubber.
It could be the code to crack Distinct Andrew. Distinct Andrew will be going for, I believe it's 4 consecutive pole positions. If he can continue this, that would be from from race 3 at Autopolis all the way through to today, if he can complete that. Oh, massive from Distinct Andrew. It's not every day you see a crash like that from such a driver of his caliber. We'll have a look on the Next Level Racing action replayed exactly what happened there. What even happened? It looks like he's just got it all sideways on entry. Oh, it's that curb. Oh, and it's flicked his car to the left-hand side. He's hit that sausage curb all sorts of wrong, and yeah, it's not great. So we'll ride on
I can
board.
personally confirm that the cars don't handle too well when 2 wheels are off the ground.
So we'll ride on board with Kiwi Raikkonen as he makes his way around the track for his final lap in the qualifying session. He was the second last car to make it around for the final time. Just easing his Corvette through the quadruple apex corner. Oh, that might be it. Oh, yeah, 1.5 tenths down. He could still. Oh, who's that? Is that Karen? Oh, no, that's his lap. That's the lap gone.
Yeah, he's aborted.
So unfortunate for Kiwi Raikkonen. Being held up by Karen Unleashed. Not too sure what happened with Karen. Looked like he just lit up the throttle and then... Yeah, and Kiwi Raikkonen's calling it at the hairpin. Oh.
And that is qualifying run and done.
They didn't get to finish their laps. That's not good. Well, we'll get back into the racing shortly as the grid lines up like this. It's Distinct Andrew on pole position, followed by Kiwi Raikkonen completes the front row. Geesh in P3, Atom P4, Ricky Bobby P5, Corgi P6, Captain Muffin P7, Hellraiser P8, Karen Unleashed P9, and Morgan Davey rounding out the grid in P10. So, yeah, I'm not too sure what happened there. There was a race, the race finished... Oh, okay. The qualifying continuation time was set to 60 seconds, but it shouldn't be happening in the race as that's set to 90 seconds. So that's what caused that unfortunate premature end to qualifying. But we'll continue on now any moment now as...
I found the big red button.
Yep.
3, 2, 1, and let's go racing.
So predictions for this race, Carbonboy?
I'm really hoping Spikey can get on the podium and prevent a second ASR 123.
Yeah, definitely. Those yellow cars just lurking.
I have no bias against Ascension Racing. Nothing against them at all. Just I'm not a fan of complete domination.
Distinct Andrew doesn't get the greatest of starts. Kiwi Raikkonen right on the front foot straight away. Oh, right up under the rear wing of Kiwi Raikkonen. Distinct Andrew there. Seems like everybody's got through single file. Oh my, it's just so satisfying to look at Division 1 as they go bumper to bumper through the first few turns. Love to see it. As Kimi Räikkönen a little bit offline with those cold tyres, giving Jeesh just a bit of a sniff.
Oh, Hellraiser's gone a bit wide at the sequential left-handers, letting Karen unleash through.
Yeah, Hellraiser finds himself sitting between the two silver Deeds cars in a Deeds sandwich.
Not a place I would want to be.
And it looks like we see a bit of a move in the background. No, it looked like Fluffy was going to go for a bit of a move there, but couldn't quite pull it off.
How's Spiky doing? Ooh, he's right up there with Andrew still.
Absolutely.
Or gets a bit cute with that sausage curb.
Yeah, they all are. Oh, Atom! Absolutely murdering the curb. The sausage curb might as well not be there, I should say. Getting tongue-tied. So head down the main straight, start the second lap. Kiwi Räikkönen with that American muscle, trying to chase down Distinct Andrew.
Now, I know it's early days, having just finished lap 1, but I was keeping an eye on the differences between Andrew and Spiky's car there. Andrew's Viper absolutely banging off the limiter in top gear. Spiky, on the other hand, lots of short shifting, barely any revs, still keeping pace. So, difference in fuel usage between these two could be a factor in the race.
Yeah, Kiwi. As we know, the Corvette is very, very thirsty, but Kiwi Räikkönen, we saw it last time out at Deep Forest, very light-footed when it comes to fuel use. As they come down through turn 9 into the hairpin of turn 10. Onto the throttle early, and we see everybody
just lower down the
settling
field. Captain Muffin has had a bit of a moment somewhere. He's dropped back behind Karen and is right in the clutches of Morgan Davey at the moment.
Yeah, and Hellraiser, he's dropped down to P10. So now Captain Muffin finds himself in that Deed sandwich. As we look up front, and that gap out to about half a second between the two leaders at the moment, Distinct Andrew and Spiky.
We can't be too biased here, but our teammate Ricky Bobby, he's keeping himself in the mix in P5.
Yeah, aside from the Ascension Racing and Kiwi Räikkönen, he's basically
As
best.
he
Oh, what are you?
drifts through
Oh,
the
Carbonboy!
entry
No, it's okay. He's been practicing that. You know, the Toyota Super Sprints. That's all you guys were doing in that race.
My deepest sympathies go out to that Mercedes rear tyres.
Yeah.
It's alright, I will stop talking about him, I will stop watching him.
It's probably going to be Prua down at the Obsession garage that's going to need to change those rear tyres later on in the race. Unless you plan on going down to the garage.
After beating my team owner, I might just keep my distance from the garage for a little while.
Yeah.
Not sure how that's going to go.
Yeah. Well, I think the same can be said with the Dadson Racing boys in that Div 3 race, as Gur overtook his team owner when his team owner, Dadson, he crucially needed those championship points, but ooh, I don't know. It's going to be... Oh, it's Fluffy!
Fluffy goes wide. Oh. Nearly collects that wall that just comes out and will stop you in your tracks.
In the wise words of Jeremy Clarkson, there might have been a little bit of poo.
Yeah. I think the boys down at Blacklight will might have to clean out that car.
Yeah. As the gap between the two leaders opens up to about 7.5 tenths. 8 tenths now. 9 tenths at second. Just keeps going up.
Karen is bringing himself into the mix here with Fluffy. He's right on the rear bumper.
Yeah, precisely. There's a big battle pack shaping up from about 6th position all the way down to last place.
I don't want to bring the hoodoo on him, but Ricky Bobby won't need to watch himself because he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys within 3 seconds of him. If he makes a noticeable mistake, it may not go well. So
Yeah, it's crazy how just 3 seconds could be the difference between a good finish and a bad finish. You see Hellraiser, who's 3 seconds behind Ricky Bobby, sitting in last place, whereas Ricky Bobby's in P5, which a P5 is nothing to be ashamed of, but it's just 3 seconds separates them. As we see, Morgan Davey practically pushing Captain Muffin through the corner, very close as they come through the first 2 turns. As, contact! Huge contact between Morgan Davey and Captain Muffin. Oh, that is not good at all. As they've come into the quadruple apex, and as Morgan Davey is he's
quite loose on exit.
Yeah, redressed that position, and now he's under threat from Hellraiser. We'll just have a look at the next level racing action replay. So they came into the braking zone. Looks like Morgan Davey got it all sorts of sideways and just made contact with Captain Muffin, but they all hold on to it and continue racing. Knowing Captain Muffin, he won't take that too personally. Likes to just get on with the racing and continue.
Fluffy closing right up on the back of Ricky Bobby through the chicanes as he's currently 2/10 up on his best personal lap. See if he can get close enough down the main straight using that slipstream.
Yeah, the Mercedes isn't very quick in a straight line, and the Corvette is. It's like polar opposites in terms of straight line speed. As he sets his quickest lap of the race, Fluffy, going with a 32.9, barely edging himself into the 32s.
Very, very noticeable difference in lines going through that first 2 turns.
Yeah, I think it depends on the car you're using. If your car has a lot more mechanical grip, like the Mercedes or the and that's Karen just got his car stuck up on the inside curb, and it flung the car, but luckily lives to fight another day under a lot of pressure from Captain Muffin, who is looking to get past after that mistake from Karen. Unable to do so, but we have 3 cars in the space of half a second. Morgan Davey chucks it down the inside, and he gets it pulled up, and just blocks Captain Muffin on exit. That's some good stuff from Morgan Davey, very opportunistic. And we'll have a look on the next level racing action replay at that one, as Karen came into the corner, just got it all sorts of stuck up on that curb, and yeah, not ideal.
Now, while the top 4 are all still running line astern, as they were previously, the battle between 5th and 6th with Ricky Bobby and Corgi is going to get quite spicy. Because Ricky Bobby went very defensive at that final chicane on that lap.
Yeah, Ricky Bobby only 2 tenths ahead of Corgi, and but
Corgi backs out of a turn 1 minute.
He goes for the switchback. A little bit of contact. They keep going though.
Good man.
I think, as we were saying on the last lap, sorry, before Karen had that issue. What a move! He's going for it! Oh my gosh, what a move from Fluffy! I
think Ricky Bobby just went a little bit wide and left the door open there.
What a move! That was incredible! Let's look at that one on the next level racing action replays. They come into the quadruple apex, and Fluffy's just sent it down the inside. My
I think I was
goodness!
riding on board with Fluffy there, and initially he did back out of it, and then he saw that Ricky Bobby went that little bit wide, and he thought, you know what, the door's open, I'm going to walk through it.
What an incredible move! You love to see stuff like that. Just great stuff from these two. I think Corgi's on a charge forwards now, but it may be a little bit in vain as he's been held up with these guys for the most part the first 10 minutes of this race, and now it's a 5.5 second chase down to Gshin P4. As I was saying, hopefully I don't get interrupted this time by on-track action, but the lines through the corners, it really depends on the car you're using for that first and second turn. I think if your car is a little bit more mechanical grip, like the Mercedes or the Viper, oh my gosh, Ricky Bobby, well, I can't spit this out. Every single time I go to say it, I just get interrupted.
Well, as you were talking about the lines through turn 1 and 2, Captain Muffin took a very unorthodox line by going, and now Karen has a sniff up the inside.
Oh my gosh!
Oh,
Contact, but he holds it.
Oh, this is getting. Don't make it messy, boys. Don't make it messy.
I think we're already past that. It's already messy as Karen sends it down the inside. Very commanding move, very forcing move, and is Hellraiser going to follow him through? No, Captain Muffin's going to hold his own. He's going to try around the outside.
I think if Hellraiser's smart, he'll just sit back and let these two sort it out before the chicane, because that's not a place you want to go 3 wide. Oh, as Karen gets over the curb.
Ooh.
Muffin given the old Morse code tap on the rear bumper.
Bumper to bumper, these guys. Captain Muffin, he's sniffing the exhaust fumes from that Corvette. He's going to get a massive run down into turn 1, but the straight line speed of the Corvette may be too much. Does he go for it? Oh, very opportunistic. I don't think he meant for that. But oh, just a little bit of contact, and Hellraiser's going to follow him through too. Oh, Hellraiser pushes Karen wide. Oh my, it all settles down though.
You were right about Fluffy being held up a little bit by Ricky Bobby. He skipped out to 1.5 seconds in front as Morgan Davey has managed to get a fantastic drive out of turn 2 and sticks it up the inside of Ricky Bobby going into turn 3.
Yeah, so Morgan Davey puts himself into P6. Ricky Bobby, he started 5th. It seems like he's just backpedaling a little bit. But knowing Ricky Bobby, he's got a plan in mind, and he's going to have some fuel or tyre strategy up his sleeve that he'll be able to use to get himself straight back into this one. Speaking of
which,
yeah, could we have a tyre and fuel update for the grid, please, Carbonboy?
We can indeed. So out in front with Distinct Andrew in the Viper, he's probably sitting on about 20-25% usage on the front tyres and a lot less on the rear with about 15%, and he's about 55% fuel left in the tank. Behind him, Spiky, aka Kiwi Raikkonen, slightly better usage on the front tyres, only about 20% gone, about 15% again on the rears. Also, much to my surprise, given the rev differences down the main straight, he's bang on exact same amount of fuel at 55%. Right on his bumper is Atom in the other Ascension Viper. Very similar tyre usage to Andrew with about 25% on the front, 15% on the rear, also on about 55% fuel. Not too far behind them, Geesh in the Mercedes, probably about the same tyre wear, probably 4% more fuel or less fuel, so about 51% left in the tank. A little bit further down the tracks, Corgi for Blacklight in the Corvette. Again, about 51% fuel left in the tank. Front left is not a happy camper on his car, being a little bit more worn than the front right, so about 30% gone for him. He's making them work. And the rears are about 20%, so the setup he's got in that Corvette is really making use of the tyres. Morgan Davies has slightly less wear on his front tyres than Fluffy, but slightly more wear on the rear tyres, which, knowing Morgan, not entirely surprising. And being a Deeds driver and in a Corvette, that double whammy has him sitting on about 45% fuel left in the tank. Ricky Bobby's doing quite well on his tyres. He's only used about 20% on the front and about 20% on the rear as well. He's bang on half a tank of fuel. Captain Muffin, while he's also bang on half a tank of fuel, those front tyres are really hating life about now, being, I'd say, about 40% worn, whereas the rear's only about 20.
Oh, contact!
Karen! Oh, Karen! He redresses.
And then
But that's
Hellraiser
giving-
gets a sniff. Oh.
Hey, if you're not the one that needs to redress, you don't have to hold back.
As he goes for it again! Oh my. It's all kicking off here for last place.
So, come on guys, stop overtaking each other and stuffing up my fuel and tyre order. Karen's front tyres don't particularly like life at the moment either. They're on about 35% worn and probably about 30% worn on the rears. And being the Deeds team owner, he is down to about 30% fuel left in the tank. And rounding out my list is Hellraiser, with his front tyres are pretty good, about 30% worn for the front left, 25 on the front right, about 20 to 25% worn on the rear, and he's probably got about 40 to 45% fuel left in the tank.
Okay, as these guys start the... oh, well, they're not starting. They're about halfway through the 12th lap at the moment.
Ooh, just looking up the front there, Spiky is right behind... has lost the position, actually.
Yeah.
Adam's gotten past him.
Adams into P2 and Distinct Andrew has a 5.5 second gap, so maybe these guys have been fighting.
Sorry to all the viewers at home for missing that. I had a bit of a brain fart for a moment there, thinking, Kiwi's managed to close up the gap to the guy in front of him, and then realised that the guy in front of him was not Atom.
Yeah.
Geesh is right there as well. So Spiky finding himself in an Ascension Racing sandwich at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just something else. It's getting a little bit dark, a little bit gloomy, a little bit of cloud coverage.
A little bit of mist as well,
Yeah.
rolling in.
So we're only 20 minutes into this race. Rain could be on the way. I'm not saying it is, but clouds mean rain, and there's definitely clouds above us.
Oh, there are some dark clouds coming in over those mountains. I wonder if these boys are paying attention to their weather radar.
I'm sure as soon as there would be a cloud in the sky, they would be flicking across, because you need to be very proactive when the weather comes about. Usually the headlights are a good indicator as to whether the rain is coming or not, but looking up and down the grid, it seems like only about half of the cars have their headlights on. Whereas definitely the Vipers have their headlights on. I think it might just be the Vipers actually. The 1-2s.
The Mercedes of Geesh also has his lights on, so maybe it's an Ascension Racing thing.
On my screen they're not, so I don't know.
Oh, not the actual headlights. They look to be like the running lights just below the headlights.
Yeah, like the Parkers, yeah.
That's the ones. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, I see it now. It's a bit hard to see with the whole 250 kilometers an hour thing.
That's fine.
As we see Fluffy approaching turns 1 and 2 now. Sitting 7 seconds behind the Ascension guys. As we pass the 20-minute mark in this 50-minute race. This battle for 8th position is still raging.
I've just been keeping an eye on that one between Muffin and Karen. They're all getting a bit cute with each other, showing the nose, having a bit of a look.
Only 7/10 separates the three of these guys.
Muffin is really using those tyres to keep with him, but he's, well, let's just say there's quite a sizable fuel difference between Muffin in the Aston Martin and Karen in the Corvette. And I'll let you guess who's better off for fuel.
Well, I mean, Deeds in a Corvette.
And Hellraiser's not giving up the fight either. He's certainly letting Captain Muffin know he's still there.
Yeah, looking very racy, Hellraiser.
And I am quite a fan of that pink and purple CP Racing livery.
Yeah. Captain Muffin and Hellraiser are teammates as well. They both race for CP. Not that you would be able to tell by the liveries. I mean, they're sort of similar. It's the same sort of gist, I reckon. Just different colour schemes.
And different primary sponsors as well, with Captain Muffin's car, sponsored by Star Car Wash, and Hellraiser sporting the Snow Store livery.
And they've both got the... They both have, yeah, I think they both have the Next Level Racing sponsor on the back. Who is one of the Sector 1 major sponsors or major partners, which you can see at the graphic at the bottom of your screen. So Next Level Racing, they do a lot for us here at Sector 1.
The sun's come back out, the clouds are clearing up, so I think the threat of rain might have passed over for now.
Yeah, it seems to be the case.
Just keeping an eye on the Atom, Spiky and Geesh battle. They're all still running fairly nose to tail with about 3/10 between them.
27 minutes remaining in this race. These guys are going to start thinking about pit stops sooner or later.
There's not a lot in it in terms of fuel usage, so they might all pit together, or they might have already run all their numbers in their own practice sessions and they know what they're doing. Or they could just, you know, prove me completely wrong and play follow the leader.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that drivers have done something completely different to what I've predicted.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Womble.
I mean, Womble is very unpredictable with his strategies, though.
That is true. That is true.
Sometimes a driver who just drives until they can't drive anymore is a good thing, because it keeps you on your toes as a commentator and you don't know what's going on. I remember Petey Pops in the Div 4 race. Yeah, at Autopolis in round 3. Everybody pit on lap 14 and he stayed out till lap 18. And I think it was Brent and who's the other commentator? Was it you?
While Karen has skipped away from Captain Muffin, Hellraiser shoves it down the inside at the final hairpin, takes a position off Muffin. Beautiful move, nice and clean. Muffin just went a little...
Adam and Kiwi Raikkonen pitting.
Muffin just went a little bit deep under brakes, left the door open, and Hellraiser has skipped on through.
As Womble says in chat, he tells us he pits when his bladder's full.
That's a great strategy, and Karen will definitely come in because he is almost completely out of fuel. 3% left in the tank.
3%. Oh wow. Jeez,
So that
Corvette's
4
thirsty.
seconds between him and Muffin is going to evaporate because Muffin came in with 22%.
I think Muffin will absolutely jump him in the pits.
So Andrew, Geesh, Morgan Davies still out,
Yeah.
doing noticeably better than his team owner in the same car in terms of fuel usage. He hasn't even hit the fuel light yet.
Ricky Bobby as well. It seems to be a running theme. He seems to be able to find pace in a slowing car. He
Well,
just
to
stay
be
out of few
fair,
extra
he's-
laps.
All his tyres are only about 50% worn, and he's still got about 20% fuel left. So
Yeah, it worked
he
out
could
for him at
run-
Autopolis.
he could run another 2 laps on top of this easily,
Yeah.
and then have a really healthy car for the short final stint.
Seems to be what he's been doing with his strategies. Like we saw it at Autopolis, we saw it at Bathurst.
And he does
stayed
stay out
and-
again.
Yeah.
And his lap times have been silly consistent, like 33.7, 33.9, 33.6, 33.7, 34,
Yeah, those
Flat,
times are nothing to sneeze
33.8.
at.
33.7, 33.7, 33.7. I mean, if you're still running consistent times and you got plenty of fuel and tyre, yeah, why pit?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the only issue is that with the current tyre model, the tyres seem to jump off a cliff when they do go, which you have to be mindful of. And
If you know where that cliff is and pit before it, I think you'd be fine. If you don't know where that cliff is, like yours truly, you may have some issues.
Well, it seems like Ricky Bobby has full confidence in his car as he goes around for the 18th rotation.
I think we'll see Morgan Davey in this lap. He is on the flashing fuel light.
Yeah, it seems like Morgan Davies got an extra 2
And
laps
Distinct
of fuel out of
Andrews
his
coming
car.
in as well.
Just the sheer gap between Distinct Andrew and Morgan Davey and Ricky Bobby. It puts it almost makes these drivers that are Sector 1 legends, and they're not slow at all, but compared
Absolutely
to
not.
the likes of Distinct Andrew, it's like, phew. Distinct Andrew is just in a league of his own as Ricky Bobby goes around again. Morgan Davey on the flight as well. And it looks like Distinct Andrew.
Spiky gets the fastest lap with a 32.006.
As the gap between Distinct Andrew and Kiwi Raikkonen at 3 seconds now. It was 6 when they entered the pit. And Kiwi Raikkonen has jumped all of the Ascension guys.
Andrew does have over 3/4 of a tank. Kiwi has just under 3/4 of a tank. As he goes 4/100ths purple through the first sector.
Showing no signs of slowing down.
I have confidence. Like he is lower on fuel, but I think he's done enough practice. He knows his strategy. He knows where he needs to save fuel to make it.
Adam with a big sideways moment.
And this is one time where I hope a driver doesn't prove me wrong,
Yeah.
as he is
Oh.
nearly 2/10ths purple.
Come on, Kiwi, keep it going.
A little bit of a wheel over the curb there in the chicane. That might hurt.
Looked like a pretty alright line through there. It's always awkward coming through that chicane.
As Ricky Bobby finally comes into the pits with 10% left.
With 1 lap led to his name. Add that one to the tally.
Bang.
And he does go quicker.
Spiky
into
goes
the
purple
31s.
again.
Distinct Andrew on a fresh car. Let's see what he can do. Last lap. Did he pit last lap? Yes, that was his out lap, 1:34.3. So I would imagine Distinct Andrew is going to challenge that for the extra point. Oh my gosh! Immediately first sector, a 10.5 up.
And just after that round of pit stops, courtesy of the Deeds Corvette's excessive drinking problem, Hellraiser's managed to put himself up into P8 with a 1.5 second lead over Karen.
Oh wow! And Morgan Davey has jumped Corgi by a long way. And Ricky Bobby's threatening Corgi too. Right up under the rear wing of that car. He's going to stick it down the inside of the hairpin. Yes, he does. Gets it pulled up. A little bit of contact, but nothing. Still
nothing
fair.
untoward there.
No. And it looks like he's going to get the position, but Corgi with the straight line speed of the Corvette, it's going to be a tight one. Looks like he
Ricky
holds on
Bobby
to it.
has a fresher car than Fluffy, so come the end of the race, where tyre wear's a bit of an issue, Ricky Bobby might have the upper hand here. But time will tell, and we've still got near as makes no difference. 18 minutes left in the race.
Yeah, not too much. Wait. Oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. I don't like hearing uh-oh.
I clicked the wrong button and it reset the race timer. Sorry, guys. Let me just change that. I said that it had 49 minutes left in the race, and I had a bit of I had a little bit of a brain fart. I was like, wait, why is it saying there's 49 minutes left? We've only been racing for 1 minute.
I think Captain Muffin's had a bit of an unfortunate moment down in P10. He is nearly 16 seconds behind Karen.
Yeah, not ideal for Captain Muffin. He's had a bit of a break from Sector 1 and not the way to return.
Oh, Corgi! Oh, goes very deep under brakes into the hairpin and nearly comes into contact with the back of Ricky Bobby's car, just managing to pull it up in time. Oh, that was a heart-in-the-mouth moment.
Looks like Ricky Bobby's going to set a personal quickest lap as well, as he's a 10th up coming into the chicane. Using all of the available curb there, Fluffy.
Meanwhile, we've probably got the good doc, team owner at Blacklight, probably screaming at the TV going, "Stop calling it Fluffy!"
I mean, it is his Gran Turismo 7 username, nickname, so...
He did give himself the nickname. That's not something we've come up with of our own accord.
Yeah, our doing was Spiky, okay? Kimi Räikkönen, that's our doing. We don't own Fluffy at all.
Probably got Dadson sitting in the Dadson garage thinking, why are you calling him Spiky?
Yeah, we've got all the nicknames at the Dadson garage. We got Spiky for Kimi Räikkönen. Yeah, we've got this Prospector for Dadson himself.
Who's now probably screaming at us for that.
We've got to call Gurr something like Wet Walker after his 2 races were won at wet weather tracks. No,
The duck.
The duck. Yeah.
He's at home in the water.
We got to leave that one with us. Might come back to that one.
Anyway, back to the race, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. As the gap between Distinct Andrew and Kimi Räikkönen goes back up to 5 seconds now.
Spiky's managed to find his way back in front of Adam, which I completely missed. Might have been through that round of pit stops. I admit I was not paying attention to that one.
For who, sorry?
Spiky managed to get back in front of Adam.
Yeah, he did it through the pit stop.
Aha.
How's the tyre and fuel between these guys as well, by the way?
Anyone in particular you're interested in?
More Kiwi Raikkonen and Adam.
Spiky is sitting on about 51-52% fuel left. Adam has a slight advantage, about 53%.
Okay, so that's maybe a little bit of fuel, maybe.
So nothing really in it. And tyre wear, they are dead even. I cannot split them.
Didn't quite catch it at the pit stop, but I wouldn't be surprised if Kiwi Raikkonen just dropped had a little bit less in the car than Adam in that pit stop, just to get the track advantage, and then sort of just has to try and hold that position, which he seems to be doing while conserving a little bit of fuel.
Now, looking just back at Ricky Bobby, he's managed to slightly lengthen the gap to Fluffy behind him, and he's managing to slowly drop that gap to Morgan in front of him.
Yeah, I mean,
So
Ricky
later
Bobby
on,
could get up to P5, yeah.
Morgan might be in double trouble here if Ricky Bobby brings Fluffy along for the party.
Yeah, Ricky Bobby setting a personal quickest lap. He's not showing any signs of slowing down at all. He is a whopping 9/10 quicker per lap than Morgan Davies. So
the difference in the pit stop timing is starting to show in the tyre wear between Ricky Bobby and Fluffy, with Fluffy having noticeably more tyre wear. And Ricky Bobby and Morgan Davey are about even on fuel.
Okay. Just about to ask about the fuel and tyres for Morgan Davey and Ricky Bobby, but you read my mind.
Near as makes no difference, the same on fuel. Ricky Bobby slightly better tyres than Morgan, stopping just that little bit later.
Getting a little bit misty here. Some cloud coverage rolling in from the ocean. We see some dark clouds in the sky over the mountain.
Oh, they are looking fairly ominous. I really wish I could activate the weather radar and have a look-see for myself.
A little squirt of rain laid on could shake up this race just a little bit. Been threatening for most of the race. But
Adams managed to make his way back past Spiky.
ooh, so Kiwi Raikkonen will not be happy with that. He's going to be wanting to get back past as soon as he can.
I just jumped on board Kiwi.
Right under that rear wing of the sanctioned racing car. As they come down into the hairpin. Kiwi Raikkonen going to want to get onto the power early and get the maximum exit down the back straight.
Hasn't quite got the run onto him here, but certainly makes up a lot of ground under brakes. That Corvette's got fantastic braking abilities compared to the Viper.
As they round the final corner now. Going to have a massive run down into turn 1. Kiwi Raikkonen. It seems like he's just holding off though. I don't think he's pushing that Corvette as hard as he could on the straights.
Now, if you want to stay on board with that battle, I'm just keeping an eye further down the field with the Morgan, Ricky, Fluffy situation. Just reporting in that the gap is still slowly coming down between Morgan and Ricky and has crept out to 1.5 seconds back to Fluffy.
Ooh. So maybe the Corvettes later. They don't seem to be doing as well as in the first stint, as we see 3 of the 4 Corvettes moving backwards. Oh, somebody's in in the pit. Karen's in the pit. Oh no, he's done a deeds. Oh no.
Oh dear.
Oh.
He's realised he hasn't not got enough fuel to make it, and Captain Muffin goes sailing past.
He's done a deeds. 10 minutes to go.
The curse strikes again. That Corvette of his was very thirsty in that first stint.
Yeah, an interesting point that
should have just brimmed the tank and sent it.
Yeah, absolutely. Something that Womble's brought up is that Corey Hack's tyres are looking pretty much new at this stage.
They are, and the fuel situation's looking fantastic as well.
Adam's gone!
Adam's gone!
Oh no!
He has lost it coming out of turn 2.
That came
Just
out of
getting the
nowhere!
rear tyres on the ripple strip, on the gas, no grip there. And he does have a little bit of damage to the rear diffuser.
Just a lapse in concentration can do that to you.
Oh,
As we look back on the replay, we'll see exactly what happened.
Very Kiwi accented swearing coming from that Dodge Viper right now.
Oh, just understeered wide and hit the wall and then overcorrection, unable to save it. Oh, that's disaster for Adam. And now he's just fallen behind Kerry Raikkonen and Jeesh.
And Ricky Bobby is right on the rear bumper of Morgan Davey now.
He's pushing for this move. He's going to try it down to the hairpin. Can he get it pulled up?
He
Yes.
does. He's got the fresher tyres.
Covers off the exit.
In a rare moment for Deeds, Morgan does have more fuel than Ricky Bobby. But I think around this track, having the fresher tyres, as Morgan looks into the chicane, Ricky Bobby says, "No you don't, mate. Not here." Just personally, that's not a place I would try for an overtaking move, but we all know Morgan is not shy.
Absolutely not.
He's certainly not a dirty driver, but he's not shy.
And now Fluffy's getting dragged into this battle as well, as he's only sitting 7/10 behind, almost within slipstream range now. Very late apex line there for Fluffy, looking to get the maximum exit. Could we see a defense from Ricky Bobby? There's not much of a it's not much of a place to overtake into here as well, as there's not much of a braking zone, so you can't really get alongside and through. But Ricky Bobby holds on to it for now. He's gonna want to try and use this Titan technical section to get away from Morgan Davey so that he can't make a move on that back straight, which it seems like he's doing, just edging out a small gap. It might not be enough to hold off Morgan Davey into turn 11 though. So they come through the hairpin on the power early, but Morgan Davey gets a brilliant exit, closing up. He's gonna be along the side sooner or later, 1.5 tenths the gap. So they barrel down towards the turn 11. Morgan Davey tries around the outside this time. Can he get it done? He does get it done. That's a brilliant move from Morgan Davey. Tried the inside, wasn't good enough, so tries the outside, and he gets it done second time round. But now Ricky Bobby's going to have the opportunity now. As they dive down the front straight, he already pulls alongside, and now we're going to see a bit of a move from Ricky Bobby. No, he just holds off behind Morgan Davey for now.
As he
he sends it down the inside.
Morgan goes deep.
Oh, opportunistic.
Doors
Very
open.
Opportunistic from Ricky Bobby. Takes that position after Morgan Davey just a little bit late under braking. He's going to try.
Here we go. Here we go.
My. That's... Oh, can he get it pulled
that's
up?
Brave.
Oh,
that is brave.
What a move from Morgan Davey. And now Fluffy's right in the middle of this battle.
I'd just like to report that back on lap 21, Distinct Andrews set the fastest lap of a 131.458.
Oh, wow.
Race lap 31.458.
That's 5/10 off his pole position lap of a 1:30.
And Ricky Bobby sticks it down
Oh,
the inside at the hairpin.
he does it
Oh,
again.
this is great.
This is some great racing as Corgi's going to get a go as well. Corgi's right in the middle of this as well.
Ricky Bobby might be thinking, which way is Morgan going to go this time?
Morgan's going to try it around the outside for a second lap consecutively. Gets it done 2 times in a row.
But Ricky Bobby,
Oh, is Fluffy going to follow him through? No, not quite. But now Ricky Bobby's under pressure from Fluffy. Little bit wide from Morgan Davey, and that gap's just coming down to Ricky Bobby. Can Ricky Bobby send it down the inside? Can't quite.
Don't leave that action. Keep the cameras on that one. I've just been keeping an eye back up on P2, P3 with Spiky and Geesh, and that gap has come down to 5/10. So I'll just keep an eye on that while you stick with that battle down there.
No worries, thank you. As Ricky Bobby, he wants this position, and Fluffy hanging in the wings, ready to strike at any mistake that the 2 drivers ahead may make. As they come through turn 8 now, and then into turn 9. Ricky Bobby, he's going to go for it 3 times in a row. No! Morgan Davey covers it off well. And now Ricky Bobby going to get on the power early. Pulls alongside, gets a great exit. But it's all in vain as Morgan Davey's Corvette is so much quicker in a straight line. Is Morgan Davey going to take the outside route into this hairpin again? No, he has a whole length in front of Ricky Bobby as they come through the complex of turns 11, 12 and 13. This is some great racing. 3 minutes remaining on the clock. They're going to get 3 more laps at this stage. As they cross the line to start lap 21. Ricky Bobby sitting half a tenth. Oh, as Fluffy goes wide. Corgi goes wide. Morgan Davey, bit of a lights up the rears coming through turn 1 and turn 2. As Ricky Bobby seems to have the worst exit out of them all. As Fluffy goes in, takes the move from Ricky Bobby and up into P6. Ricky Bobby threatening P5, now drops to P7. Oh! Oh no, Ricky Bobby's gone! Oh no! It's all gone wrong for Ricky Bobby. Oh, that's not the way he wanted to end his race. As we look back on the Next Level Racing action replay, and he's, he has the fresher car too. He's just got it all stuck up under, got it on the curb, and it's just too much overcorrection and gone.
In the theme of bad news, I think Captain Muffin's had a bit of a shocker somewhere as well. He's back in P10, 7.5 seconds behind Karen. He's not having a good time.
Yeah, he was leading Karen after Karen made that unscheduled pit stop, but unfortunately...
Oh, and he's gone. He's gone coming out of those left-handers. There's a lot of witness marks on the rear quarters of that Aston from CP Racing.
There might be some oil down there at turn 5 or 6.
It's certainly slippery down there. How's the Spiky G situation? It's still hovering around the 6 to 7 tenths mark. As both drivers have the fuel light on.
Yeah, they're gonna have to do one more lap. Oh, maybe not actually. It's gonna be very tight.
It will be very tight.
Distinct Andrew may be the only one that gets around again.
He's only just hit the fuel light, so he'll be fine. He'll be good to the end. But if Spiky gets across the line, which I don't think he will.
No, it's going to be very... No, he's not going to make it. He's got 10 seconds.
He's probably breathing a sigh of relief because for him and Geesh, the fuel situation Yeah, not great for another lap.
Yeah, so Kiwi Raikkonen takes P2. It's his return to their Sector 1 podium, followed by Geesh in P3, the first Mercedes. And Atom P4. He's had a bit of a one error, and it seemed to shadow his entire race. As we see Morgan Davey rounding the final corner, flashing his lights. This is a good race for Morgan Davey. P5 for the Deeds driver. He might actually get pipped at the line by Fluffy. Oh, he kept it a little bit close there. Fluffy
I was
takes
watching
P6.
that gap coming down and thinking, Morgan, you may not want to showboat too much, mate.
Yeah, Ricky Bobby P7 and Hellraiser rounding the final corner as he crosses the line in P8 to cap off a pretty quiet race. He had a good first stint, active first stint, but a very quiet, lonely second stint. And Karen Unleashed last to cross the line before Distinct Andrew, and he's P9. And Distinct Andrew, so I'm not actually sure that Distinct Andrew will see the checkered flag because the timer was set to a minute 90. Wait, no, a minute 30, and it's a minute 33 lap. Well, Distinct Andrew crosses the line in P1.
He'll get the checkered flag.
Good stuff from this man right here, Distinct Andrew.
Just.
As the race is ending.
And I will save that replay.
And
driver of the day, who are you thinking?
Oh, I've got to give it to Spikey, to Kiwi Raikkonen. I mean, he's just had an absence of form for the last few races, and it's good to see him back at the top. So good stuff.
I concur. I'm thinking Spikey as well, just for a sensational return drive.
And we see any Womble says it's the first time in Adam's S1 history that he's gone off unassisted. I don't know whether that's factual, but I'll take Womble's word for it for now.
I'm going to leave that one alone. I am a commentator, not a steward. I am leaving that alone.
Yeah. I mean, put your driver of the days in the chat, guys. And so Dadson gives Kiwi driver of the day. Not seeing any other votes come through at the moment, but just chuck them down below, guys. All votes. We are grateful. I mean, I wouldn't say we're grateful. Well, we kind of are. We're happy. We like to see what you guys think with your votes. So what do you think of that race, Carbonboy? That was very exciting race.
Well, just when I thought things were in a bit of a lull, someone throws a Mentos into the Coke bottle of that race, and next thing you know, it's just all on everywhere. Someone going off, someone having a great little battle with Morgan and Ricky Bobby towards the later stages of that race. Just when you think, oh, it's a bit quiet, we can get comfortably here. Nope.
Yeah, I mean, there's just lots of action up and down the grid. It was great to see, and I'm happy to have watched it. A good 2 hour, 10 minutes of Sector 1 action tonight. And looking forward to what Round 7 has in store for us. Distinct Andrew just extending his championship lead. I think it's all over now, as I don't think TX3 will be returning for the final 2 races, unfortunately. But
that's a bit of a shame.
Yeah, but Distinct Andrew, I think the gap, I think it's Morgan Davey in second. We can just bring up some makeshift points, actually.
I'm looking forward to seeing the Div 4 and the Div 2 guys having a crack at this track next week.
Yeah.
See what they can make of it. See if they fare a little bit better or fare a little bit worse than we did tonight.
Yeah, so the points after last round at Deep Forest, it was Distinct Andrew who was leading by 49 points over Morgan Davey. So I think that with this race, there was a good 15-point difference between. Oh no, Morgan Davey got fifth. There's like a good 10-point difference between Distinct Andrew and Morgan Davey on this occasion. And I think the championship is pretty much gone. You would need Distinct Andrew to have 2 DNFs even for it to be close. So,
Probably safe to say he's running away with the Div 1 title.
yeah, absolutely. Gurr gives his driver of the day to Kiwi Raikkonen. So, good stuff.
Seems to be fairly unanimous for Spiky.
Yep. I mean, in Kiwi Raikkonen, it's not his debut race, but it's a debut race for Spiky. Gave us a good show today, so it's good to see all that unfolding. So thanks for watching, everybody. Stay tuned for next week where we have the Group B guys at Dragon Trail once again. If you haven't already, and you want to get in on the action, just head to the links below to check in on our socials and the Discord server to just join the community and talk to all the great people that are here at Sector 1. Everybody's willing to have a bit of a chat, have a bit of fun, have some good old racing. So, yeah, if you haven't already, just head below and join the Discord. So that's everything I've got to say. Any last remarks, Carbonboy?
Just like to say thank you to everyone at home who's tuned in to watch the racing tonight. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves and were thoroughly entertained.
Yeah, and congratulations to Gurr on his Div 3 win and Distinct Andrew on his Division 1 win. So thank you to all the drivers and staff for everybody helping us out tonight, all the stewards, all the race directors, all the livery lords, everybody who makes this run. It's just a good time. Good to be able to watch this.
I might head down to the Dadson Racing Garage and see if I can gate crash the celebrations that are going on down there at the moment. See if I can pinch myself a free Bacchus beer.
Triple podium. Anyways, that's all from us, guys, and we'll talk to you next time we see you on the Sector 1 channel.